Hi guys, hope you're well. Welcome to DOdaily, Thursday Thoughts, the last one of 2021. It's live, it's Des here of course. Really looking forward to getting stuck in to some of the questions that have been posed today. Thank you to everybody that's contributed. As usual, this episode each week is about what you're thinking, what you want me to answer, what you want me to discuss. Really look forward to it. We're ticking down, aren't we, on another week? The clock's ticking. The week between Christmas and New Year obviously means we're closing off the year as well. So whilst I've got this episode, I'll be back in the morning for Wake Up to Walk. And of course, to really sort of close down on the year. Look forward to the weekend, look forward to the New Year celebrations before really attacking some of the things I'm going to talk about today. And some of the things I've been talking about over the last couple of months, some of the targets, challenges, the things I want to do, really give it a go. But as ever, I'll stick to the usual format for now. I'm going to do one or two changes with DOdaily in the new year, looking to sort of extend it in different ways and expand on what I do, hopefully make it a little bit more interesting. But for today at least and tomorrow, we're going to stick to what we know best. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. I wouldn't exactly say it's fixed, but, if it helps one person, that's all I'm trying to do here is be honest, relatable, pass on little bits of information, things that might just help people along whilst I'm encouraging activity, well-being, improve mental health. It's important just to kind of set the example sometimes, isn't it? And that's all I'm trying to do. I always use myself as an example whilst, of course, you input to this episode, I try and relate it back into what I do. Not being egotistical, just sort of allowing people to understand how it kind of works and how I can work it forward. And that's all I'm trying to do. That's what can't even say it. That's what DOdaily is all about. If you've got anything to comment on throughout the episode, please drop me a comment. I'd love to read those out, get people involved interactively. Of course, give it a thumbs up. Do it now. Why not? It's just down there, isn't it? That would be amazing. And of course, subscribe. One of these targets I'm going to get straight into in a minute. Really important for trying to hit one of those. So if you can subscribe, that'd be absolutely amazing as well. Formalities out of the way. We'll crack on with the usual format, like I say, over the last couple of weeks. And I've been talking about these end of year targets. I asked viewers to set me, haven't I? I'm going to quickly rush through these because I've spoken about them a lot in recent weeks. No takeaway coffees until the end of the year. I'll be honest with you, over the last couple of days, feeling a bit tired from the extra indulgence and needing that quick fix. I've been really tempted with a coffee. At one point, I said I was going to have one, but I haven't, and now I've only got one more day and an evening. Toughest day is always a Friday. I always fancy one on a Friday morning after Wake Up to Walk. But I've not had a takeaway coffee for over 2 months now. And I think initially it really helped me with the sleeping. I'm not quite sure. My habits have changed slightly since initially taking these on. So I'm not quite sure how it's working, but something to bear in mind, and something I've stuck to. Probably saved a few quid in the meantime as well. Run a sub 27-minute 5K. Not been able to do this. It's been well documented in recent weeks. I had my arm injury. I was getting back there with the Advent running challenge. I've done 5K each day through December. Went out yesterday. Really struggled, to be honest. I was hoping in previous years when I've had a few days off, it's picked me up. But again, I've had a lot on, not had much sleep, been down to London, back up again, done other things, went to the races yesterday. So really filling my time, still managing to get it in. I made myself accountable this week by saying on Tuesday that I'm going to definitely get out for a 5K run on Wednesday. So I did it. Took me about 30 minutes. So it doesn't look like I'm going to achieve this one, but there has been extenuating circumstances. I find it really tough with my injury and trying to get that consistency going. I set this target before the injury, so kind of couldn't do much about it. What I am going to do is really work at my 5K PB. Of course, I'll be training for a marathon, the London Marathon in 2022. But on a Wednesday, one of those changes we do daily is going to be Project Parkrun PB. I'm going to try and document each week my park runs, put it out on a Wednesday for the Wednesday workout episode, so people can just check in, see how it's going, see how somebody's approaching it. I'm going to try and find different ways to approach different park runs, you know, and also vlog it at the same time. So it's always a little bit more interesting when it's a vlog. You know, people tend to respond to those quite well. So I'm looking forward to giving that a go and definitely getting back even a lot quicker than that still, you know, over 2022. So that's one of my real targets. I touched on subscribers. I'm up to 186, another couple squeezed in, 14 more to go. Again, it looks a little bit unlikely, and I hate not getting a target. When people set me a target, the ones I can sort of control, you'll see I've hit, but the ones that are out of my control, it's difficult. I've been doing what I can to sort of build this up. 14 more to go. If you know anybody who could subscribe, that would be amazing. If I could hit this one, I'd be really, really chuffed. But again, it's just a work in progress, Do Daily. Like I say, it's just me saying what I think. You know, I don't always get it right. Some of the episodes this week, you'll see I've had to squeeze them in between different activities. One of them, I was slightly inebriated. Not too bad. The episodes still come out. I still got my message across. But I'm just trying to be real, just trying to say it as it is. Do you know, and if people like straightforward, honest, people who sort of understand the ups and the downs and are comfortable to get out of the comfort zone, I think that's something I've used already somewhere else today. Do you know, this could be the place to look in. So please do subscribe if you've not already. Do 5 part runs you haven't done before. Done that a good few weeks ago. Really pleased to achieve that one. I'll speak about that one a little bit later. You'll understand why when I get there. Lose an average of £2 per week between now and Christmas. I hit that target. I lost £14. In all honesty, probably stuck a little bit of that back on, hence the bad run and the tiredness and the lethargy in that one this week. But I've been talking as well about putting the groundwork in, you know, doing whatever we can. And that was my first sort of initial steps into giving it a real go. If I pick that up again and sort of get the momentum going in the new year, it shouldn't be too long before I'm losing even more weight, you know, even more than I put back on and some more. And I'll be absolutely flying. This is how I approached last year, and it worked really well to a point. Unfortunately, a leg injury early in the year sort of halted me in my tracks, and then it was one thing after another. So I want to start strong and try and sort of sustain it throughout until those big events late next year. And they're the targets. Moving on to last week's throwback question. Of course, this relies on you guys sort of getting involved. A great response when I put this out earlier this week again, you know, on the social media. If you've got anything to add, like I say, drop it in the comments. What's one thing that you want to achieve in 2022? You know, we always talk about targets at this time of the year, don't we? I say it all the time when I mention this. I don't want to be defined by the date, but if it works, that's brilliant. I won't have anybody scoffing why or how you go about making those improvements, those changes, you know, trying to be positive about what you do. Do you know, it's whatever works for you. It's whatever it needs. For me, it's something like this, putting myself out there. You know, I will work off the dates because it gives some kind of structure to what we do, doesn't it? You know, and it gives me purpose each week to talk about something different. So, like I say, thanks for those who got involved. The first one, she won't let me forget. Never. Kay says getting married and running the London Marathon in sub 4:30. Well, of course, I'm getting married to Kay, as if I could forget. And I'm running the London Marathon with Kay. So my target's a bit quicker than that. So really looking forward to giving it a go. Of course, we're going to be doing lots of training together at the moment. Kay's probably fitter and quicker than me. So she's going to be my benchmark for the time being until I've picked up my fitness. So I'm looking forward to getting out there in the tough months, the cold months, giving it a go. And of course, putting all those great plans into place. Really looking forward to September next year. Dawn said running a sub 2:30 half marathon. It escaped me this year, so I'm determined to do it next year. To be honest, Dawn, I'm not really sure it escaped you. Amazingly, Dawn took 39 minutes off a PB for a half marathon. Someone who's relatively new to running before last year, but really, really picked it up. Really took it on, really took it forward. You know, shown the kind of determination and commitment to activities, you know, that had been missing a little bit. She'd be the first to admit. So while she'd done a half marathon, she'd not approached it in the way she did 3 or 4 this year. So to get to 2:36, I think she stands at the moment. That's absolutely brilliant. But again, having that 6 minutes, it's going to get harder and harder. But it's definitely a great target to have, isn't it? It's achievable. But again, it's going to take the same level of commitment and a little bit more just to get over the line. So good luck with that one, Dawn. Really looking forward to seeing your progress. A lot of running-based ones here, aren't there? Of course, I'll surround myself with running people. A sub 2 hour at the Great North Run and a sub 4:30 at London. Again, you know, great targets to have. Ian managed to get his sub 2 hour half marathon this year, but it wasn't at the Great North Run, you know, and he completed his second marathon and he's really looking forward to pushing on. Again, he's got that bucket list at London, which is definitely worth the training, isn't it? Every one of them's worth the training. Don't get me wrong. Not one marathon is worse than another or worth more than another. But London gives you that extra spring in your training step, doesn't it? So good luck with those, Ian. Really looking forward to seeing how that goes as well. Rachel says a sub 2 hour half, sub 4:30, again along the same lines, to improve a 5k time and to improve my 5k time by another 30 minutes. I guess that's 30 seconds. I'd also like to improve on my 5k and 10k times if I can. Again, somebody who puts a lot into what she does, really sort of works hard. I think Rachel ran every day this year, so well done for that. You know, getting a 5Ks in every day throughout 2021. That's an amazing streak. So she's putting the effort in, again, with a little bit of extra focus and attention and really sort of having eyes on the prize. There's no reason why that's not achievable. And again, I work with a lot of these guys in terms of the personal offering I do daily. So looking forward to working with them and passing on what I can and hopefully feeling some achievement through them as well. You know, that's what it's about, isn't it? You know, whilst I've not been able to run, it's been really, really frustrating. You know, whilst I've not been able to do some of the things I do, getting into personal coaching, you know, sort of holistic type coaching as well, not just running, sort of a bit of life coaching in there as well. Really look forward to delivering that on a personal level, you know, and helping these guys achieve some of the things they have. And believe me, I get as much pleasure sometimes from what they do as I do myself. One of my real big things is to develop DOdaily. And actually, it sounds unrealistic right now, like to get 500 subscribers for DOdaily, you know, sort of develop what I'm saying, introduce more vlogs, you know, sort of round, it's a bit of a rough diamond at the moment, so round it off. So that's a real target of mine amongst all those running-based things as well. And of course, I would just want to continue finding that little bit of improvement, you know, get my weight down again, get back to a point where I feel really fit and raring to go and attacking some of my own personal PBs. And finally, Reg says to enjoy running because I can, not that I have to train. Reg has just done the Antarctica half marathon. She's done some real bucket listers in a time. Really, really impressive and inspirational to watch. But it just shows, because Reg, by her own admittance there, is not always a committed athlete. You know, she gets about these things. She puts her head down, puts one step in front of the other, and does them. It just shows that anyone can do it. And I purposely use the word impress there, because sometimes we get inspiration confused as if it's something we can't achieve. We almost make it unachievable in our own mind. But you can be impressed by something and then you can follow it. You know, you can sort of be inspired, but don't believe it's for someone else. Reg is a classic example of that. You know, the perfect person who just gets up and does what she says she's going to do. So again, well done for a fantastic year of achievements. And winning the Antarctica half marathon, that's absolutely brilliant, isn't it? Thanks for all the feedback, guys. That was brilliant. Just kind of rushing through those just to sort of pass on that information. Again, all I'm trying to do there is look to inspire people, you know, look to sort of give people ideas of what they can do and how they can reach out to the next target. You know, like I said, there was a lot of running stuff there, but it doesn't have to be that. You know, targets can be anything from reading a book a week, you know, saving money, Do you know that's an improvement in itself, isn't it? Losing weight, I touched on, eating healthily. Do you know, we're just sort of trying to be positive every day. One of the targets I set myself last year on the first of the year, the 1st of January, I was out walking and I said I was going to walk every day. And to be honest, I didn't quite achieve that again because of the injuries, because of various reasons. But even with injuries, I still tried to get out every single day. And I can probably count on one hand where I really haven't been fit or healthy enough to get out there, you know, because it's a real important part of my day. So even little targets like that doesn't have to be sort of epic sort of times in big events. You know, just walking around the block. If you do that every day, if you walk for 20 minutes, walk for 25, you know, build it up. There's a challenge in everything. There's ways to sort of make yourself accountable and achieve things as we go along. So like I say, that's all that about. It might just give you one or two ideas going into the new year. But onto the questions. And again, I'll keep thanking you guys. Thanks for sort of posting these in. Kay said to me, which of these challenges did you enjoy the most? I didn't mention too much there about the parkrun challenge. That was the one I really, really enjoyed. Parkrun's a massive favourite of mine. For those that don't know, where have you been? But if you don't, it's a 5K timed run every Saturday morning in most local parks, in most cities, most towns and cities. You know, in Nottingham there's 7 or 8, so get to travel around different ones. There's such thing as parkrun tourism, you know, so where we go and travel to different places to get a 5K running. All works off the same basis. They time you sort of scan a barcode and you just come away from this thing thinking you've started your weekend in the best possible frame of mind. I touched on as well, I'm going to try and use my parkruns at the weekend to create a PB over the year, to work at it, to document it, to vlog it, to assist DOdaily in the output here. So it's something I get so much from. So that was definitely the challenge that I enjoyed the most. You know, it meant I got to see different places. I actually went to, I think my 5, I can't remember exactly, my 5 new park ones was Woollerton Park, one that only started just before COVID. I had not had a chance to go there before it come back on. So that's a really local one, to be honest. Probably one of the most local too, where I live. I did Swansea. I went to a football match. That was really good. I did Southwell in London. Really enjoyed that one. Don't often get to that part of London, sort of around Surrey Quays. That was really good. I can't think of the others at the moment. Really struggling to think. If anybody remembers what I've said, please post them in. But yeah, there was just some really good ones. I missed out on one as well. Oh, I did Monsell Trail in the Peak District. Always love to get up there. That was where I kind of hit my 5th. And then I went to West Bromwich to do one. Again, tying it in with a football match. Stayed over in a hotel. Woke up to a covering of snow, so we didn't do that one. And then there was another one in near Leicester. So a little bit of a drive out, 20, 30 minutes in the car. But again, it's worth it. Do you know, when I had friends with me that day, so 5 different parkruns ticked off. Challenge complete. Definitely my favourite. Thanks for Megan for setting me that. That's definitely something I want to do again in the new year. I probably won't do it straight away. It's quite a lot to sort of rattle through at the start of one of these episodes, and quite a lot to think about whilst I'm setting about all my other challenges. But it's definitely something I enjoyed. So get your thinking caps on. If you've got anything to challenge me, I'm kind of going to contradict what I've said. If you've got anything to challenge me, just challenge me, because I'll either say yes or no. You know, so drop it in the comments, you know, and I'll give it a go. James says, what are your plans for New Year's Eve? Well, as I've mentioned all throughout today, it's been pretty chaotic. You know, I was hoping to have a bit of a quieter day today. Bearing in mind I'd got no real sort of exciting, nice to do things. But the reality of a bit of work's kicked in, a bit of sort of talking to a friend, you know, about 1 or 2 things, you know, and sort of time being eaten up in that way. That's absolutely fine. You know, don't get me wrong, it's been a nice day over Christmas nonetheless, but it's not been one of those action-packed occasions like going to the World Championship darts or going to the racing yesterday, you know. So, but what I'm getting to is it seems to be one every other day at the moment. And whilst today is a little bit quieter, despite my little bits and bobs of work, do daily. I'm going to the Forest match, so I'm still doing something pretty amazing. Tomorrow's New Year's Eve. And what we'll say, I'm actually going to go to my local pub. Do you know, the Boot Room, where I spend a lot of time anyway. I quite often do daily from there. I run the running clubs from there. And that's a conscious decision. That's something that's I kind of want to do, because I'm, in all honesty, I'm not a massive fan of New Year's Eve. I don't really see what the big deal is. I don't want to be negative about it, because I'm always talking about being positive. I'm always talking about how we should make the most of things. Of course, we should celebrate the year gone by, you know, but I like to do it on my own little way. Last year, me and Kay stopped in. Do you know that COVID meant that anyway? But I think even the year before that, we stopped in. We celebrated it together. You know, we had a few drinks, we had some nice food. And I think that's nice. But this year, because we've not got COVID, because we can actually get out, me and Kay said we're just going to stay very local. There's a temptation to chase a massive party in the city centre, or go to this or that or whatever, you know. And all we want to do is spend it quite quietly together, rather sort of nicely, and adding something to it. One or two of the Do Running guys are joining us. It's not an official Do Running gig, but friends are joining us, people we like spending time with. So we're going to have a nice, easy night somewhere we know. Not going to be too much going on. It'll be busy, you know. There'll be people to talk to and celebrating and having a drink with at midnight. But it's just a relatively quiet affair, and that's how we like to spend it. You know, again, finding a that's not being negative. That's being really, really positive about what it is. It means a lot to us personally. You know, when we work hard and we look back, and I'll be reflecting, of course, on Wake Up to Walk. It'll be a perfect chance to look back at the year as a whole, as well as the week already. Sorry, I'm losing my voice as the year finishes off. It'll be a perfect chance to look back at the year as a whole. You know, and I'm sure we'll be doing that throughout the day. You know, and that'll just be a nice sort of culmination to what's been an absolutely fantastic Christmas. I don't want to sort of gloat or keep saying it too much, but I've really, really enjoyed myself, and that's all we can do, isn't it? Especially with that looming sort of COVID issue out there. You know, we've managed to avoid it at the moment, and it's just been really nice and allowed us to do the things we want to do. So really looking forward to that. Thanks for the question, James. If you've got any plans for New Year, please drop it in the comments. I'd love to know what you're doing. It'll be great to sort of hear how different people do it. Again, you might inspire us for next year to do something that little bit different. You know, some people might be off to London to see the fireworks. They might be having parties at home. They might be going into the city centre. You know, they might be having smaller gigs like yourself. It'd be great to hear, you know, because you never know. Somebody just might pick up on it somewhere. I mentioned Forest there, didn't I? And straight after this episode, the reason I'm slightly early again tonight, actually, last Thursday, of course, was an earlier episode just before Christmas. I can't believe it was a week already, mind. But I'm a little bit early because the Forest match kicks off at 8:15. And normally I'd come on at 8, but trying to fit it all in around all these plans. You know, there's no reason I can't. It's my YouTube channel. It's my vlog. Whilst I do like to be accountable to the people watching, I'm still getting out in time for those who want to view at 8 o'clock. So, that's why I'm on a little bit earlier. I forgot to mention that at the start, but I mentioned Forest, didn't I? I'm looking forward to the game tonight. We actually got beat for the first time in 10, and Forest has really picked me up at the end of the year. I found so many positives. I mentioned going to the parkruns and going to the match after. You know, I go with slightly different people sometimes, as well as people I've always been with, you know, and it's just added a real nice dynamic to it. It's made it enjoyable again, you know, really sort of enthusiastic about it all. So will 2022 be the year Forest make it back to the Premiership? Simon? I'm not sure about that. You know, I'm really, really confident with Forest at the moment. You know, stats are there to be kind of ruined and broken, but since the new manager's come in, we're absolutely flying. You know, we'd be top of the league since the manager come in, and that's like an irrelevant stat because at the end of the day, the season's 46 games and we'd already played 7. But it was a massive change, wasn't it? We changed from one thing to another. We're giving it a real go. If we carry on that form, that's all we can do. We've got people in Middlesbrough on Boxing Day, but if we turn that around again tonight and we win our next home game against the winnable team, famous last words. That'll be a real successful period. So really looking forward to that. Should be a great atmosphere. Christmas at the football, football and Christmas goes hand in hand, doesn't it? There's been a lot of postponements recently, but thankfully the Forest games are going ahead, and it's going ahead tonight. So really looking forward to that. Come on, you Reds. Drop us a score prediction in. What do you think the score is going to be? I'd love to know what you think. So drop that in the comments if anyone's a Forest fan, or any comments you've got about Forest. It's not a football channel, but I will squeeze it in where I can. And the final question for today is from Sarah. What one habit do you want to develop in 2022? Well, I'm going to be a little bit boring with this, because I've been here many, many times, and for whatever reason, it never ever works. Getting up early, I can never crack it. I go through good long periods where it works. I have to fight it. I just get into a routine. And like I say, for various reasons, I'm not making excuses, because ultimately nothing stopped me getting up. Nothing stopped me getting up early and trying to get to bed early. But for various reasons, a little loss of motivation, and the injuries and such things, I just can't crack it. I just can't get it done every day. I know when I do it, I'm so much more productive. I'm so much more alert. The positive stuff that comes from getting up early, getting out for a walk, getting out for a run, the knock-on effect just builds through the day. And that's what I really want to sort of build on in 2022. Right from the off, I'm going to give it a real go. 6 a.m. starts. I'm saying it here now. Anybody's welcome to ask me how it's going at any point. And really sort of set about it again. Winter is an amazing time, and since the clocks changed last week, of course the mornings will start drawing out slightly again. So, like I do if I wake up to walk, get out and get some pictures, see the amazing skies. I was looking back at some videos actually this afternoon from January last year, and there's some amazing pictures of the skies. So looking forward to that. And quite often people say to me, like, what do you want? Why do you get such amazing pictures? Well, kind of because I'm out there at the right time. If I wasn't there, I wouldn't get them. So I take a lot of rubbish ones, believe me. A lot go straight in the dustbin on your apps in your phones. But it's just about being out there, isn't it? And I absolutely love it. So I struggle sometimes to understand why I can't do it. So that's the one habit I really, really want to develop. I want to really sort of set it in stone, because I know if I've got that one sorted, anything's possible. That's how I started last year. Absolutely anything's possible in terms of weight loss, fitness, PBs, all those things, productivity as well. The amount of things I get in a day when I get up early is incredible. So really looking forward to giving that a go. And that, of course, leads nicely onto the throwback. What's your one habit you want to develop in 2022? I've just said there mine, but it could be anything. Do you want to eat healthier? Do you want to live well? Do you want to read more? Do you want to go to bed earlier? Do you want to have your tea by a certain time? There's hundreds and hundreds of things. And I don't think there's anybody out there, like, I'm going to say now, this can be a struggle getting people to respond to, because they kind of feel a bit nervous and putting themselves out there. There's no wrong answers. But what I am going to say, there's nobody out there who will ever watch this, who might come across it, who's not got a target for next year. Everybody's got a target for something. It might be going to more Forest games. It might be going to less football. It might be saving money. Everybody's got a target somewhere. So if you can just offer us a response to this, that would be absolutely fantastic. And again, next week when I read them out, it just might help somebody really sort of think about how they can do it. It won't be the start of the year, but like I said, we don't have to be defined by that, do we? Somebody might just pick up on something somewhere and say, that one's for me. I mentioned the coaching, the DOdaily in-person sessions I do here in Nottingham. It's kind of a running boot camp thing. Lots of guys took that on board, and we've worked to targets all throughout the year. A lot of those guys mentioned the targets they're aiming for already. But what I want to do is almost sort of identify those habits that are going to help those that are going to help you achieve those. For me, like I say, it's getting up early. For some people, it might be drinking less alcohol. For some people, it might be finishing work at a set time. These days we work from home, people get a little bit carried away and can work into the evening. But whatever it is that you need to do to make your life that just a little bit better, a little bit easier. I'm always encouraging people now to take part in activity because I see the obvious benefits to mental health and physical health. But sometimes it's just about making things easier to make these transitions from one thing to another. One small step at a time, one positive action leads to another. And that's all we're looking at there. It doesn't need to be a goal as such, just a habit. If you can respond, that would be absolutely fantastic. And if you can respond and you don't want to put it in the comments or you're watching it after, please email that or any questions. I'd love people to get more involved in this as well. Again, it's a bit of a struggle. I've just said it there. People get a little bit nervous, don't really like putting an end to it because they go, oh, I can't ask that. I know there's 1 or 2 people who just watch a Thursday but won't commit to that. So just drop us your questions, and it can be about anything. It can be about health, running, COVID, relationships, how I'm feeling, how I deal with my off days. This year, I've been really, really honest. I look back at some of the videos, I remember back to some of the videos and I think, wow, did I really sort of let that one out of the bag, But that's what DOdaily is about. It's about me sort of putting myself out there, like I said right at the start, to encourage you guys just to be sort of comfortable in the knowledge that someone else is experiencing things the same way, and that's what it's about. So if you've got anything, please post that in. I'd love to give it another crack to start off the year in style. Hopefully, again, make this whole sort of visual on a Thursday a little bit smoother, make it a little bit more interactive, get people involved, get back down that route. I've had that in the past, always proved really successful. So really looking forward to that. And of course, I'll finish by reminding you of one thing I'd not done there is put the social media links up. So one thing I'd not done is put that up, but I'll finish by reminding you of the Wake Up to Walk session tomorrow. Not really sure what I've got planned. It might be a case of getting out on the river. Got a really busy day. I always go to a friend on New Year's Eve. I forgot to mention that actually when I answered the New Year's Eve question. A friend has invited me for the past 20 years, apart from last year, of course, because of COVID, because of everything that was going off. So I'll be doing that midday till about 5 o'clock, and then we'll be having our own little celebration. Love that routine. Love how it all sort of transpires. But this year, of course, I've got to get up particularly early, get a video in. I've said I'd do 1 or 2 favors as well in the morning. So looking forward to another busy day to sign off. But I wouldn't have it any different, would I? I love what I do. I love DOdaily. I love sort of getting out of my comfort zone, putting this message across what I'm trying to do, passing on little bits of information. It's not a one size fits all. It's not a running channel. Certain days like the Wednesday is going to be about running. It's going to be about that part one. Fridays are about walking. Mondays are about trying to sort of start the week in the right mind. Just use these different themes to give it a go. I've absolutely loved it again this year. Really, really got stuck in. I think I'm not sure where I'm at. About 450 episodes. So that's quite a streak, isn't it? Quite an effort. Proud of that fact. I'm sure I'll be looking towards that 500th episode in the new year. But really pleased with what I do. Really, really enjoy it. Get so much out of it. And if you can get the things out of you can get something extra from what you do through watching this, that would be absolutely brilliant too. Check out all the social media. I'll put all the links below. All the previous videos are available to watch. Some short ones this week. I was fitting them in for Christmas. Quite often people say, if it was a little bit shorter, I could squeeze them in. Well, there's no excuse now, is there? Get them viewed, get them liked, get subscribed, and keep tuning in. Thanks so much, guys. Really, really appreciate it. You add so much to this episode, to DOdaily, to all the things I enjoy. So just want to say, sort of tentative Happy New Year, because of course it's not the final episode, but from the Thursday Thoughts program episode, Happy New Year. Make sure you join us for the first live episode next week, and have a good evening. Until tomorrow, just doing it.